Check 1 2, Mike. Check 1 2.
Lovely. Happy.
I'm glad you're happy.
Okay, Miley, welcome
Thank you.
to this interview. I'm just curious, you're going to be on stage tonight. Do you get any nerves?
I don't really get nervous anymore. During my first show, my very first concert, it took me a while to get kind of adjusted to it, but I think just you do the show so many times. At first, you're just worried more about the steps and the crowd reaction, and now I've kind of learned. I mean, everyone in the seats, they're here because they love you and because they support you. So you really can do no wrong once you're up on stage.
Now, you've done a gig in Dublin, and I just heard that you quite like that city. Can you tell me a bit about that?
I loved it. Dublin was one of my favorite cities. I'm staying in London over Christmas, so I'm kind of here. This is like my base. This is where I am all the time. But I'm going to Manchester, and I just went to Dublin. Dublin was probably one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. I just felt like everyone was really nice and very welcoming, which was, really nice. If you've been on tour so long, you definitely go to all different kinds of cities. So it's great to find one that you really click with.
Yeah, because it's got the good size, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It still feels big city, but not where it's like not homey. Do you know what I mean? There's parts of it, but none of it really feels too big. It's not like a New York, it's not like that. It's not overcrowded. It's nice. Everyone's really sweet.
So your tour dates are all around Christmas. So what does that mean for your Christmas plans?
I'm staying in London for Christmas. Then we fly right back to LA. So we were gonna have a late Christmas and just celebrate when we got back, but my family thought it'd be better if we were all together. So I flew out all my brothers and sisters. There's 5 of us, and my parents, my grandma. So we're all together right now. So it's kind of interesting all being in one apartment, but it's nice.
So I hope they all have warm clothes.
Exactly. I think some of us packed, as you can tell, I'm wearing a t-shirt. We packed lighter just because we're not from here. We didn't realize how cold it was going to be. And it's definitely freezing.
Okay, so how's the tour going so far in this part of the world?
The tour's going awesome. Like I said, I love Dublin, love London. I've loved being here. Met a lot of nice people. It's better once you're here for a little while, being in London for a bit, because you meet people that you really like. You have friends that you can go visit. You find spots that you're really comfortable with. So that's good.
So is it easier for you to walk around here kind of, than it is back home?
I would say it's a little better here just because I think it's like so busy, especially during Christmas time. Everyone else it's like can't be bothered. I'm here, but they're like Christmas shopping, so they're kind of in a rush, and you just gotta you have more time. You're less noticed.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, when you're on tour, what is it that you miss most?
I miss I think just a normal schedule, a little bit of normalcy. On tour, it's pretty the same schedule every day, but you don't have as much control of your schedule. It's not like you can drive away for lunch or drive here. You don't have a car, you don't have your normal house, so that's a bit different. But besides that, it's really nice. It's pretty normal.
So on tour, because on tour everything is done for you, isn't it? And you get a call sheet exactly what to do. So I mean, it must be difficult when that stops. When you're at home, you all of a sudden have to do it yourself.
Right. I think it's kind of easier and harder on tour. You do have your schedule all planned out for you. So sometimes just okay, I just wish one day I could do exactly what I want to do, and have some time for myself. But it's also nice to know what you're going to be doing and have your day planned out, so you know what time you can chill and when you can just hang out.
So are you going, because now you're playing Ireland and the UK, are there plans to go to the rest of Europe and further afield?
Yeah, we're going to Manchester, Birmingham, we're going to Dublin, obviously, and then just London, but hopefully at some point I can go all around Europe, and I would love to, have a little bit more time to spend, just kind of venturing out, not only work, but getting to see places that I like.
Okay, now you did the Royal Variety performance, and so you got to meet the Queen. Can you tell me what that was like for you?
It was really cool meeting the Queen. This year I performed at the inauguration in the States, and so then to do that and then to come here and meet the Queen, it's kind of been really a cool year to meet, the leaders and just people that, are so influential, and I think that's really, really neat. I've had an amazing opportunity, and I've definitely been a part of a lot of things that will, be big in history. I think that's really cool, and I think she's I just love that she's very classy, the way that she can, says hello to everybody, and, it's not just she goes on stage and does a wave, waves to the crowd and leaves. She went through, literally 50 of us and shook every hand, and, not only did she do that, but talk to us and, say how she liked her performance and what we're enjoying in London, so it made you feel like you really knew her and that it wasn't just meeting the Queen, but it was actually spending time with her.
Yeah, because you always see... So are you aware of the whole thing around Joey winning the X Factor and singing your song?
Singing the Climb.
Have you seen that? Or
I watched it on YouTube. I think it's really cool. It's a big honor because that's what those shows are all about. Those shows are just about, following your dream and, doing what you love. And so I think that was kind of a perfect song to, finish it up. And the fact that Simon picked it personally was really cool. I thought I did a really good job.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your new movie?
The new movie, Last Song, comes out in April. Comes out in April in the States, so I'm not sure when it comes out over here, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's Nicholas Sparks, and it's definitely a movie that's for, my older audience. It's for, 13 and up, I would say, and it's just, like, very mature. But it's all about love and death, which are two of the things that, always, no matter what, you can't go around it. You're always going to love someone in your life, and it's something that is just, like, a very, kind of affected teenager has to deal with, things that are really, really matter, and, kind of take a second to not be selfish and just think about herself, but to, really put it in perspective and take care of her little brother through a hard time. It's really cool.
And so tell me a little bit about the character that you play.
I play Ronnie, who is just graduating and spending a summer with her dad because her mom is basically making her, and she doesn't know why, and she's being shipped there with her little brother, and she doesn't want to be there, and it's a small town, very different from the New York lifestyle that she lives in. Not gothic, but like a little bit. I mean, combat boots on the beach is probably the first scene. So as funny as it is, it's also very sad because she feels like everyone's looking at her weird, and all the girls are in bikinis and laughing, and she feels very different, and then falls in love and kind of takes a twist and, trying to figure herself out, and she falls in love with someone that looks so opposite and seems so opposite. And so to see the way that they come together and really they have inside, they're very much alike. It's really, really cool. And, you see movies and you hear about stories, but it's always, with, older people dealing with like the death and all that stuff. But this is a young dad, young kids. And I feel like it's like a subject that, teenagers aren't aware of as much. It happens a lot. And so to feel like you're not alone, because that's the way she feels.
That sounds really brilliant.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. It's Nicholas Sparks, so it's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Girls love it.
So is it going to be, because your audience is going to change, changes as you get older. What do you think about it? Are you planning that, or is it coming really naturally?
It's coming really natural. I think the transition is natural just because my fans have grown up with me. When I started the show, I was 11, and now I'm 17. So I mean, I've gotten older. They're getting older. But also, as I do films and stuff, it just is. I'll have a new season of Hannah Montana coming out at the same time that I have this movie that is a lot more mature. So necessarily, if the younger ones that are into my music or into my show, they're not completely missing out, because that's for the older audience, and then for the younger audience, I have Hannah Montana. So it's great that I can have both, that they don't feel like they're missing out or they can't see something. I'm always going to be there for them just as much as I am for an older audience.
So Miley, how much do you get involved in the things that come out, with your name on it, whether it's a music video or a program?
I'm definitely very involved. I mean, with everything, whether it's wardrobe, the way that I look, and the last song really taught me that. There's times where I look at it, I'm like, all right, I wish I would have, this would have looked different, or even just a setting would have looked different. And when I look back, I'm like, all right, I need to learn to be more vocal if that's how I feel. But it just takes a learning experience and getting comfortable on a set. Because when you first go on there, it's my first movie solo, you don't want to be like, oh, I don't like this, or oh, I don't like that. But you also got to realize that, before anyone else, it comes up, and on a big screen it says Miley Cyrus, and I want to be proud of every little bit. So Last Song definitely taught me that, and on any future film that I do, I'll definitely just ask more questions and be more aware. But everything has come together so well, and I'm excited for it to be my first big feature alone.
Okay, that sounds really exciting. Now, I have one more question, which is about the album, really. It's like, how do you write songs? Because you wrote quite a few of them. So what is your process?
I write songs a couple different ways. Either I'll get a music idea, and that's kind of my easiest. I like to have a track or something playing where I get kind of in the groove and in the music. And I feel like once you have a beat and you have something just vibing, it's easier to freestyle. But sometimes I'll just have something that's on my heart, and I'll either write poems, or even if I'll say something, I'll be like, ooh, that's good. And that's something that's, I could put into a song, and it's cool. So there's definitely a couple things that I do, but a lot of times it'll be someone says something, or I'll say something, and I'll write it down in my journal real quick and end up writing it.
So you've got a little part of you.
For sure, light bulbs, for sure. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes I'll say something, or someone else will say something, and I'll go, ooh, that'll be a good title for a song, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, because now they're going to steal it. And I'm like, don't say it. Sometimes I'll keep to my head, and someone will say something, and I'll just start writing, and I'm like, what are you writing? I'm like, just song ideas. So it's funny that I just keep a little journal with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what writers do.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a few separate questions now. They're more quick, kind of like bitey type things. What do you think is the biggest, or maybe the biggest misconception people have when they meet you?
I think people automatically think that I like the attention or, cameras following me all the time, whatever. And I feel like that's not what you necessarily go into the business for. It's not to get all the attention. It's just because you love what you do, and there's things that come along with it.
Okay. How would you hate to be described?
Vain, because I don't think I am. Vain or prideful, which I hope I'm not either, because my dad always says when we were coming into this business, he's like, pride comes before the fall. So when you immediately start thinking too highly of yourself and you think that you're the best, it's going to only be downhill from there.
Yeah, you would be inflated.
Exactly.
And that's a dangerous state to be in. Do you have to develop a thick skin to be in showbiz?
Definitely. I think there's a way of being, having thick skin but not being numb. So many people, I feel like after they've been in the business so long, they end up not feeling anything anymore. And that's like a really, that's when you read, about Marilyn Monroe, or you hear, I just feel like they end up feeling numb. They felt like the world wasn't, it was in their fingertips, but they didn't know exactly what to do with it, And so I feel like that's something that I always look up to, women like that had so much power, and just, learn from them and read the things that they said, and, and learn not to, when you feel out of control, kind of pass it off to, I have my mom, or someone that, a family member, someone that can help you out and balance it. Don't try to keep all the weight on your own shoulders, because you'll just end up breaking.
Yeah, you need grounding, don't you? All the time. Do you have any good tricks for going out without being recognized?
I think my worst thing is I'm very talkative. So I'll walk up not even realizing it, that people will recognize me. I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? And then they look me in the eyes and they're like, oh, or hear my voice. I think my voice is what really gets me here in London or anywhere in Europe, because my voice is so different. So they hear my accent and they're just like, oh my gosh. So try not to talk too much.
I bet you if you would put on a British accent.
Oh, for sure, blend in.
Huh?
Last question.
Last question, okay. Last question is, do you think it's hard to date Miley Cyrus?
I think it can be. Not because of who I am. I think it can be hard to date me, not because of who I am, but just because I get kind of crazy when I'm on the road. I have no, I do at my schedule what they give me, but, no sense of time. No, I'm just used to other people doing other things for me. So, and I'm not needy, but I definitely like to, know that I'm being thought of, and I'll do the same thing for them. But it's hard because I have no sense of time. So, the time difference is different. And I'm a night owl. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning where I am, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon where they are. So I just want to chat all night.
Okay, but that was my last question. Thank you
you.
so much.
Nice to
Can I,
meet
can I get an ident before you go,
Yeah,
please?
perfect.
Straight on the lens, Entertainment Now's the show, so yeah,
Cool.
the usual.
Hey, it's Miley Cyrus, and you're watching Entertainment Now.
Okay,
Perfect.
cheers.
Brilliant.
Cheers.